Picture it Los Angeles 2025.
Welcome to Out on the Lanai, the only Golden Girls podcast you're ever going to need to listen to. I am HAlanScott / Sadie Pines.
I'm Kerri Doherty, and today we're bringing you another Golden Rewind where we go back and rewatch our favorite episodes of the Golden Girls and offer new insights since we first started breaking down these episodes way back in 2014. And it's time to hire a private detective before heading off to Papal Mass because we just rewatched season 7, episode 13, The Pope's Ring.
Oh, but before we get to that, let me just start this off for Kerri, because I know Kerri's in a moment. We'll talk about all of the things, but I want to start it off at least. That one of the things that Kerri and I talked about off air was, because we were trying to set up how we're going to talk about what we're going to talk about in this intro today. And one of the things we talked about is how special this audience is and how important this audience is and how we've never lied to this audience. We've never had anything that was sort of like we've kept anything from you for like the purposes of recording or anything. We try to keep it happy and bubbly and everything. But like life happens sometimes and we talk about these things and we've cried so many times on this podcast in lots of different ways. We've had, my cat has died, my dad has died, like things have happened on this podcast where emotional things, heavy things happen. And I want to maybe give a little bit of a warning to say we're having another heavy moment right now, maybe not in like the ways that I previously mentioned, but like we are having a heavy moment and we don't want to keep that necessarily. And we want to explain how we're going to tackle things going forward and a little adjustments to schedules and then keep things in a very, light and happy and distractible way. Like that is the wonderful, beautiful thing that the Golden Girls gives us. But before we can have that distraction, we should probably have a little chat. Right, Kerri?
Sorry, I'm like already losing it. I love you guys all so much. So yeah, thank you for setting that up. For anybody watching on video, just been watching me like try not to drip snot out of my nose for the last minute and a half. So yeah, I've just been, just dealing with some personal family stuff lately. My dad has Alzheimer's and is in hospice, and it's really hard.
It's really hard.
It's really, really hard. He lives across the country, and I was lucky to go see him a while ago, and and we had a great visit and everything, and and I still call him every day, but it's really hard when you call your dad and he's in a VA hospital and he thinks he's bartending.
What was he? What did he want to serve you? Hopefully a good drink.
Hopefully something they would have at the Rusty Anchor.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it's it's hard for someone to still be here but not be here. And I'm sure some of you have also experienced this, maybe with friends or family members, having dementia, and it's just very emotionally taxing. And
Yes.
There's a lot of other stuff that's also going on in my life right now, like some good things, some other not so good things.
Life.
Stan
Life
and I
is
are great,
happening.
though. For anybody who's like,
Yeah.
oh my God, are they
No
getting divorced?
stress.
No, Stan and I are great.
And you and I are great.
And you and I are
everything's
great.
great. Everything's wonderful. It's just life is lifing right now.
Yeah, life is lifing right now.
Yeah.
And yeah, I wasn't even sure I was going to share all of this on the podcast at all today. But
let me pick that up.
Yeah.
Let me pick that up so that you can have that. So that with that said, and with that, by sharing that, I think you're showing a really important part of who we are to each other, but then also who we are to this community. And in doing that, we just want to say then that because life is lifing at the moment, and because I care very much about Miss Kerri Doherty Montgomery Clift, that I think that we do need to take somewhat of a break of our regular schedule and maybe go into a bi-weekly situation. We might have guest hosts sometimes, but like Kerri and I will do a bi-weekly posting, so we won't be posting every single week. I still might pop in here and do a post here and there if something big's happening in the GG world, but we're going to give Kerri temporarily. This isn't like the end of the podcast or
Oh
anything.
gosh, no, not even close.
We're
dragged me
not
away
going
kicking
there.
and screaming.
Yes, that's not happening. But what we're saying is we're taking a break so that in terms of our regular schedule to a bi-weekly schedule, so that we can focus on the things that matter most, which are first and foremost our health, our family, and each other.
Yeah.
And so that those come first. And I'm really glad that I think that this audience, and I'm speaking for the audience here to Kerri, I think the audience completely understands our need to do that, why we need to do that. And they're just so grateful. And again, I'm speaking for them. They're just so grateful that you shared that with them so that then they too, who have gone through those things that you're going through right now, can be there to support you in the ways that they can support you via social media, or, leaving a comment on the Patreon, or just sending you a little message of love, because that's what we need a lot more of these days. It's just a little bit more love. So I'm sending you all the love, and I know they're sending you all the love right now too.
Thank you. I really do appreciate our GG community. And yes, this is not permanent, but I do need a little bit of I just need to take my foot off the gas with some stuff right now. Because when we do this podcast, I want to give it 110% every time.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't feel like I can do that at the full capacity right now. And like, you guys deserve that. You guys deserve us being able to give this podcast our all, because that's what we have set out to do over these last 10 years.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to be able to do. But yeah, I'm going to take a little bit of a break, but we'll still be posting bi-weekly.
Yeah. So we'll be back in 2 weeks. I mean, we're going to do this episode, which today we're talking about the Pope, but we'll be back in 2 weeks, and then 2 weeks after that. And maybe in between those weeks, we'll do an episode here or there or whatever. And on the Patreon, y'all are still going to, it's same process. We'll be doing it every 2 weeks. And we might be posting things randomly, regularly, sort of in weird, irregular ways. But we're still going to do the watch along, which we're going to do that when?
We're going to do our next watch along Sunday, May 25th at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Those are our GG live watch along parties. I will put up some episodes that you all can vote on the Patreon. We'll find a really good one. I'm just going to find like all the ones that make me laugh hard. We're not going to do, a Phil's funeral episode. We're going to do like real lighthearted. We're going to do like wackadoo, the women have frozen heads kind of episode.
Oh, I love that episode. That's a heavy episode though too.
Maybe not that one. So we will be doing a live watch along party this month. We'll still be planning on doing those monthly. And I'm going to go ahead and segue right into what's going on at the Rusty Anchor happy hour this week. I sure need a drink. My God.
Yeah.
I found, and we're going to talk about it on the Rusty Anchor happy hour. I found a Betty White interview that I had never seen before. Mm-hmm. And it's she kind of tells the story of like the birth of her sense of humor, like where it came from and how she fostered it by being on game shows. Mm-hmm. And the interviewer is actually a former guest of the Golden Girls. I'm not going to reveal who it is. Yeah. It was just a really fun surprise. I was like, oh my gosh, that person was also on the Golden Girls.
He's such a good actor.
I know. He's really good. And their interview is really sweet and fun. Yeah. And you can tell like they've known each other for a long time.
Yeah. And you can tell she kind of she liked him. But her response though is so poignant for someone in the industry. Mm-hmm. I really actually was very surprised by her response.
Yeah. It's a really great story. So we're going to be watching that clip and talking about it. And that's all on our Patreon. You can check it out at patreon.com/Golden Girls Podcast.
Well, Kerri, again, I'm going to say everyone loves you and knows this moment is fun, but I think we need to get into this very fun episode.
I know.
I know you need it. You need it badly. We need it badly. The audience needs it badly. We all need this little Pope distraction, if you will.
Yep.
Should we take a break?
Papal. It's such a weird word. Yeah,
Papal.
Let's take a break. I'm going to just blow all this snot out of my nose and get my shit together. Okay, HAlanScott / Sadie Pines. Yes. You were so insistent on doing this episode this week. So I feel like...
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I have to explain.
About it.
So I'm not a Catholic. And I don't know much about the Pope. Love is close. But I don't know much about like how any of that works. That said, I'm fascinated whenever they choose like a new pope. And I'm also fascinated by the Pope in general and the history of like popes. And one time I was in Rome and I was like visiting a friend and I went by myself to St. Peter's Basilica. And I was like, I did the whole like walk around thing. You can climb up to the top or whatever. Very frightening. I don't recommend anyone to ever do that. It's so narrow in there. Ugh, so claustrophobic. Anyway, I got to the top and there was this lovely little tourist who was also on the tour with me and he was like giving me eyes and then I was giving him eyes. And then I didn't hook up with someone at St. Peter's Basilica, but I did hook up. I met someone that then I later out off of the Catholic grounds. I guess all of Rome is Catholic, but like all of the Catholic grounds, I hooked up with him. So I'm just saying that maybe the Pope's home. I mean, Pope Francis wasn't Pope then. Who was Pope then? I don't know. I think the German one. Anyway, I hooked up with someone. There was a meet cute, if you will, at the Pope's home. And I'm sure I wasn't the first homosexual that had a meet cute at the Pope's home, if you know what I mean.
What a cute story.
But I say all that because Pope Francis, God rest his soul, he just recently passed away and he seemed like a fun pope, although I'm sure there were problems with him that I don't know about, but he seemed like a fun pope or whatever. I like that he was all like, I don't want any money. I don't want anything. I'm going to live over here in this crappy apartment because I'm like humble or whatever. So
yeah,
I like
he's
that
like a real
him.
Bernie. Like I
He's a
flight
real
coach.
Bernie. He's yeah, very that. So but in honor, I guess, of his passing, let's make it a Golden Girls episode where we watch the one about the Pope.
It's so funny because like, yes, this episode is called The Pope's Ring. This to me was a Blanche episode.
It is very Blanchy.
She was so funny. Her sassiness, she was confident, her know-it-all, like she hasn't even worn your sweater. Like, oh my God. Oh my
So
God.
good.
She
It's
was
so
so funny.
good.
She had so many great lines in this.
I do want to go back 1 second to the Pope because there's the actor who played Pope John. Is it John Paul? Is that what's his name? John Paul. Pope John Paul. He was in a lot of things, like a lot of things.
As
like
the
he
Pope.
was in as Pope John Paul. He was in this. I think he was in A Naked Gun. He was in Sister Act. Sister Act.
I love
at
Sister
the end,
Act.
when the Pope visits in San Francisco. So this Pope got around, just like me and that guy I met at the Pope's home.
Oh, way to bring it back full circle. Can you imagine just making your career, making a living for a certain amount of time as just, because he didn't talk, as an impersonator who doesn't have to open his mouth.
I would be horrible at that. Someone recently asked me, they were like, oh, which Golden Girl do you do in your act or whatever? Because of being a drag queen. And I was like, oh, I don't do any of them. I don't do that. Like, I'm just me in drag with a Golden Girls type name. So I could never. I'm not good at impersonating people. I can't even think of someone I can impersonate. Do you do any impersonations?
Well, I wouldn't necessarily call them impersonations. I think an impersonation is when you're trying to pass yourself off as someone, like I am, like single white female. I think of them as impressions. You're doing an impression of someone.
The only impression I can do is Brad Garrett on Everybody Loves Raymond. And hold on. No, I can do Raymond. I can't do Brad Garrett. I'm sorry. I can do Phil. No, what's his name? Ray Romano. I can do Ray Romano. Okay, here we go. Deborah.
Yeah, that was great. No notes.
Oh, Deborah, we're not going to have sex tonight.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah, that's a good impression. Yeah.
A meatball sub.
Yeah. I don't know. The only one I can think of off the top of my head, which I feel like everybody can do, is a Jennifer Coolidge. You know what I mean?
I can't do that. I can't do it. I can't do a Jennifer Coolidge.
The gays. They're trying to murder me. That's all. You just do this. And then you say it like this. I don't know.
Funny.
So the whole reason that the Pope is even in this episode is because Sophia's worried about her sick friend Agnes. And I think throughout this entire episode, Dorothy's lack of sympathy for Sophia caring about her dying friend is like, it was a little troubling.
Yeah, Dorothy's having a bad week.
Dorothy's
Dorothy-
attitude was a real like quit crying or I'll give you something to cry about, Ma. Like that was.
I mean,
like,
but Dorothy,
her
not
attitude.
only is Dorothy not caring about her mother's friend and her mom's emotions, but she's also kind of like being shit on by her other friend. Dorothy's having a bad week.
She's having a bad week.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also do like though, and I guess she's a little better because Sophia got 2 tickets for this papal mass. What is it? Why is it called a papal mass? Is it just because it's a mass performed by the Pope? I don't know. I was raised Catholic, but I forgot everything.
I mean, I assume it's a mass with a pope.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
it's a PayPal. So everybody they tithe with through PayPal.
pass. Oh wow,
It's a PayPal
mass. A PayPal mass. Just
hook it up
tap
to your
me.
bank
Just
account.
tap.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
So Sophia and Dorothy were supposed to go because they got 2 tickets, but then Sophia traded their 2 nosebleed section tickets in for 1 ticket up front, which seems like a selfish Sophia thing until Sophia's like, well, it's because I need to ask to pray over my friend Agnes, who's in the hospital, which is so
my God.
selfless and sweet of
did that.
Sophia.
That's something very similar. Not well, kind of similar. I kind of did. No, I guess it's not like that at all. I got tickets. Kylie Minogue's manager sent me an email asking if I wanted to go to the Kylie Minogue concert the other day. And I was like, I know I'm busy. I have something to do. And so I just said no to that and the VIP party because I couldn't. And then I saw like 2 of my friends from Costa Rica who I never seen ever. Like I've seen them once and then whatever, distance. And they both were there. And I was like, oh, I should have said yes to that. So then I could have gotten them into the party. But
Oh,
I didn't. So it's not like that Sophia story at all, but it made me think of it.
there you go. That's how we wrap it up. Kind of like it. So we'll get to the other storyline in a second, but when Sophia comes back from the mass, she reveals that she stole the Pope's ring.
How
Kind
did
of.
she steals the Pope? How did she do it?
Well, it was like she went to kiss it and then like the security ushered him away and then it would kind of like slipped off of his finger, but I like how Dorothy thought it was like a practical joke, like prank ring that was
Yeah,
going to
like
squirt her in the
squirt.
face.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's a fun callback to Sophia's pranking days. I'm sure Dorothy is still traumatized by that dribble glass.
What's the most fun thing you've ever stolen?
Okay, I'm not going to lie.
Ooh.
It was a haul.
It was a haul?
It was a haul.
What do you mean? A haul, like you got a lot.
So when I was a teenager, and I don't condone this, this was not a good thing that I did. But when I was a teenager, one of my best friends worked at Walmart, and I think she worked in like the jewelry section, and I would bring a bunch of stuff up to her, and she would ring like not even half of it up and bag it up for me, and I would walk out. I think we only did it like once or twice. But,
for
like
you.
DVDs, probably like nail polish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. I didn't really steal this, but I guess I kind of did. I purchased a very expensive pair of shoes from the store in person, but they didn't have the ones that I wanted. So they ordered them in store and they were going to have it mailed to me. And then months went by and I never got the shoes. And I was furious. Because I spent like a couple $100s on these shoes. And so I called this corporate company and I was like, where are these shoes? Your headquarters is based in Los Angeles. I live in Los Angeles. This should not be taking months. And they were like, oh, I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, I want a refund. And so I got the refund like very quickly, like within like the same day. And then what shows up the next day? The shoes.
Oh my God, shoes.
And I should have said something. I should have said, hey, I received the shoes. Please charge me. But I don't think any like God-fearing American would ever do that. I think if the shoes just show, would you have called them and said, hey, I got them. Will you charge me now?
No, absolutely not.
But I
Look,
technically stole them.
If it was a small local company, 100%. If it's a big corporation, nah.
Even if it was a small company, would you?
Yeah, I would.
Would you?
Yeah, because I wouldn't want them to have to eat that cost.
I'm just saying. I don't know if I would.
Yeah, I would. So Sophia had a really great line when Dorothy's looking at the ring and she's like, "This looks real." And Sophia's
Yeah.
like, "Of course it's real. You think he wears his fakes in public like Zsa Zsa?"
I bet Zsa Zsa
Oh.
had just recently gotten arrested for like punching that police officer. I feel like that was around this time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember her, I forget. She was like,
Also, Naked Gun. You remember that?
yeah,
Naked
and I
Gun?
think it was in the credits of Naked Gun where
Yep.
she goes like, "And I
Yep.
do it again."
Yeah. So good. So good.
Oh, and
Oh, I
a
love-
friend of Pee Wee's Playhouse.
Oh, the best.
God rest her.
God rest.
So yeah, so Sophia actually has the Pope's ring. She wants to keep it, and Dorothy's like, "You got to give it back." Like,
Yeah.
F Agnes, she might as well say.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, you know what? Also, Sophia shouldn't have told Dorothy that she had it. That was her number one mistake.
Yeah.
She shouldn't have told her.
Yeah.
So meanwhile, it's Rose's birthday. I love how competitive Dorothy and Blanche get over who can give Rose a better birthday gift, given how much they always complain about how terrible Rose is at giving gifts.
Why are they trying so hard if they hate her gifts?
I don't know. Like, it's so funny how competitive they are. It's really, and just there's just sweet Rose just opening her gifts.
Yeah.
There is a moment that I want to play where it's setting up that it's Rose's birthday and Dorothy's wrapping her a gift. And they've also set up that Blanche's date from last night is still in her boudoir. Ooh, I wonder if he made it into the calendar. What do you think?
Wow. Maybe. Probably.
All right, but let's play this moment because just funny jokes.
Dorothy, if you're really so worried about this, well, I'll just let Rose open yours first so you won't be embarrassed.
You know, your ego is so fragile. You have to turn everything into a popularity contest. Well, I have news for you. Today, your worst nightmare happens. Today, I make you look bad.
You hate me because I'm beautiful, don't you?
There's a man leaving in 10 minutes. Be under him.
I love the look that Blanche gives when she says be under him, and she's just like, I know.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
I noticed within like the first 10 seconds of this episode, Blanche did one of her classic, like, open palm to the side of the hair, like, I'll let you know when he leaves.
There are so many of them in this episode where she just like, you know, she says something and then it gets like a dirty response and she's just like,
I love it. And you know what?
That's
I'm going to
so
say
good.
this. As I was watching this episode, I think as talented as these four women are, when it comes to who I think is the most talented in their role and has made it such a unique and memorable role, I have to say it's Rue McClanahan. Rue McClanahan makes choices as an actor. I truly think, again, I think all of the women are amazing in their roles. I think they're all so talented, but there's something about Rue McClanahan as Blanche. It sticks out for me. I think she's the most
I'm
talented.
going to add to that. I think what makes her the most talented because of her choices, and I think that speaks to both B. Arthur and Rue McClanahan's time on Maude, is that they both are similar in that they understand how to keep that joke going. Like they use facial expressions, they use body choices, particularly body choices that they know are going to get a laugh or they know that's going to extend a laugh, and they lean into that. Estelle Getty and Betty White doesn't necessarily do that. Whereas B, you know, she'll do the thing where she'll take the sip of tea and she'll drink, or she'll like look over that way, or she'll do something. And then Blanche will do like a like she'll sort of do a shimmy or something. And
It's
there's no
just
line.
my thing.
Exactly. And it adds to the joke, which keeps the laughter going.
Yeah. It's just great. It's just I'm just so impressed by her. She was so wildly talented. So Dorothy ends up giving Rose a vintage Roy Mickey Mouse Clubhouse sweatshirt that she won at auction. I love that Rose is like, "Oh, but it's my name spelled wrong." And
I would hate that
Blanche-
gift. I would hate that gift.
You would?
I would. Even though I'm a big Mickey person, I would hate that gift.
Why?
Because I would never wear it, and I would just hang up somewhere and collect dust, and I don't know. It's just, I don't know. It's
You
like,
wouldn't want to wear it.
No, it's like a lot of times, like, Michael will be at Disney or something, and he'll be like, "Oh, you look cute in this" or whatever, and I'm like, "It's not black, I'm not wearing it."
Yeah. But this would be different. You wouldn't wear it because it's vintage, right? Like it's a collectible.
Yeah, and I'd want to like adjust it for me, and you can't really adjust the collectible, and it's like, it's a whole thing.
Yeah, you could frame it.
Yeah, but then you're just looking at it.
Now I know what to never get you for a holiday.
Yeah, just give me money.
So Dorothy gives her a sweatshirt. Blanche gives Rose a private investigator to spy on Miles.
This is genius.
Because Blanche is worried he's having a later in life crisis and is playing around on Rose, partly because he's started wearing bikini underwear lately, but as Rose points out, just the bottoms.
We learn so much about Miles in this episode, about how cringe Miles is, about how much of how self-centered Miles is in a lot of ways. I mean, I think our hatred for Miles may have started with this episode.
No, because we're in season 7, did I say? I think. No, we hated Miles well before this. I guarantee it. Right. We hated Miles when he was like being a cheapskate.
But do you like Stan in a bikini?
No.
Have you seen him in a bikini?
Yes.
Okay. Now I want to know that story. But do you see? I think some men look good in a bikini. I don't think Miles looks good in a bikini.
Yeah. I don't know how many men I would think look good in a bikini.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like, I don't know. I like a boxer brief.
I like underwear. I like underwear, like, regular briefs. You know what I mean? I like that. But a bikini, I don't know. I just don't think straight men can do bikinis. Sorry, straight men.
Yeah. Yeah. What's also interesting about this is it feels like foreshadowing to the Golden Palace, where Blanche once again has a hunch that Miles is cheating, and this time she's actually right about it. So I feel like as much as people in the Golden Girls universe may be like, Blanche, how dare you think that he's cheating, hired a private investigator, that's so it's like, Blanche, well, you know what? She was right.
I mean, she's, she knows when men are feral.
If somebody gifted you a private investigator and said, I can spy on anyone, and report back to you, who would you have the private investigator spy on?
Who would I have them? So that's a great question. I don't know. I don't really care that much about what people are up to. Maybe Joan Cusack.
I was going to say, like, even out of curiosity.
Just because I feel like it would be comforting for me. Like, I feel like, they'd text me and be like, she's at Panera. And I'd be like, that's sweet.
Yeah.
What about you?
I don't know. Yeah, Joan Cusack would be a fun one.
Yeah. I just recently, they have Raising Helen, I saw go up somewhere. I think it was YouTube. I forget. And I just watched it. It's a really good movie. She's in it. I really like it. Yeah.
I feel like I would want, and this is hard because I don't know who this would be, but I would want a private investigator to follow someone who I feel like they present as like a really like selfless, like humanitarian person.
Yeah.
But like deep down, you're like, wait a minute, are they faking it? Are they really an asshole? So that's what I would try to do. I would try to think of someone who might fit that bill, someone that I have a suspicion of, like, I just need validation that this person actually really sucks.
I'd have them follow this girl in high school who we all called Angel Girl because everyone said she was so perfect. But I was like, she's not so perfect. I bet you I'd be able to find out she's not. There you
go. There you go.
Yeah.
All right. So that's it.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Okay. So there's another moment. There's a moment in this scene.
Wait. Hold that moment because we got to take a break. We got to take a break. But this moment is pretty incredible.
Oh gosh.
Okay. We'll be right back.
Okay. This clip, again, when I say there are certain Golden Girls quotes, couplets that I want cross-stitched and hung in my living room, this is one of them.
Yes. Should we just play it?
Let's just play it.
A detective? You're giving the gift of suspicion?
That's right. He's going to follow Miles everywhere he goes for the next 2 weeks. Oh, and if you really love any of the pictures, you can get them in wallet size. Well, I can't use this.
No, she's right. This violates the privacy of her relationship, and I think you should take it back.
You're just trying to make that old stupid sweatshirt of yours look better. Besides, I can't take it back. I paid in advance.
Can't you get a refund?
Well, no, I paid with Nature's credit card.
You never leave home without it.
Those two jokes, and they get the longest laughs.
It is so good. Oh my God. It is so good. And the way their faces to each other in this scene are just priceless.
Priceless. It's so perfect. I paid with Nature's credit card.
I can't with how good they are.
It's so good. It's so good. It's so good. The joke writing on the show is so incredible, inimitable. It's just you can't beat it. So, Rose is like, look, I don't have any reason not to trust Miles. And then Blanche points out, like, you know, that one little itty bitty little baby lie that he told a while back about, you know, being in the witness protection program and having a totally different name.
Yes. And a fake daughter, apparently.
Yeah. Caroline. Yeah.
She's in it too. She's probably in the FBI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Rose is like, okay, sure, let's do it. And then we get to the scene where the private investigator is investigating. I'm using big air quotes for those.
Well, also with Miles on the Lanai, out on the Lanai plug, Miles starts the scene by asking Rose if she's ever done the nasty outside. Which, Miles, stop doing this to Rose. Rose is not about to do the nasty with you out on the Lanai. Plug.
The other thing is like, it goes back to Miles being so cheap. Miles, it is her birthday, and you just want to hang out on the Lanai?
No. He wants to literally hang out. He wants to take off his bikini underwear and hang loose out on the Lanai.
He wants to hang out with his wang out. Plug. I'm just going to keep saying plug.
Well, that's our new Patreon episode. Hang out with our wangs out.
Plug. So I want to talk about this investigator. So, and he's actually a detective. She doesn't even call him a PI. He is a detective. Mm-hmm. This man is paid for a living by Miami-Dade County to investigate crimes and misdemeanors, etc. This man uses a Polaroid camera. That he holds above a fence.
Do you know how loud a Polaroid is?
It's loud. You can't get, if you are more than 4 feet away from something, 3 feet from, it's gonna be fuzzy.
It's gonna be.
He's not even aiming at them. It's like, brother, you don't even have a clicky camera with a little telephoto lens.
This episode is, brother, can you spare a dime part 2 for the photographer to buy a Sony?
Like, let us get this detective some good equipment.
Yes, please.
I was also a little confused. Again, I know it's for the story. It's how it needed to happen because Miles needed to discover it. But, like, I thought the idea of the detective was to spy on Miles when he's not with Rose.
Not with Rose, exactly.
Because otherwise he's just going to be reporting back to her what she has already experienced for herself, except with some shitty, fuzzy photos.
Can you imagine if Rose had forgotten that half-assed detective was back there and she agreed to do the nasty with Miles? He would have been taking pictures of Rose doing the nasty.
He would have been taking pictures of Nature's credit card. Denied.
Approved.
Click. Oh gosh. So the Polaroid is making noises, and I like that Rose is like, Miles, there's the detective in the bushes or whatever, and he's like, ooh, I like that. Okay, and you're a farm girl and you're milking a cow. And I'm like,
Oh my God. I've never been
this
able
woman
to do
does
that.
not want to role play
She doesn't
with
want to do
you.
that. You can
in
maybe
the
put on a sandwich
daytime.
costume. The only type of foreplay or role play that she wants to do is either farm and or put on a sandwich costume so she can make her 18th child. Like
Yeah.
that's all she wants to do.
Yeah, she's not interested in
No.
what you want. And so, Rose explains, no, like the detective comes out all sheepish. She's like, hi. And Rose is like, tries to explain it. And, Miles is, of course, pissed and he storms off,
Yeah.
which, like, as much as I hate Miles, like, I get it.
I get
it.
that. I get that. It would piss me off too.
But then the detective report comes back, which again, I wouldn't trust it very much, but it reveals that Miles is getting surgery, which he didn't tell Rose about. So she thinks he's dying, which is why he's been like, quote, living for the day lately.
Oh my God. I mean, I also get how she went there too. I get her logic here because
Yeah, of course.
that makes sense to me.
And then I love that this act break moment was like an act break moment on both stories, because there's this thing of like, oh no, Miles might be dying. And then Sophia comes out and she's like, this might not be a good time, but has anyone seen a large jewel encrusted ring that's steeped in history lying around lately?
Oh my God. I just recently, this is not the Pope's ring, but I just bought her some really expensive concealer that I really, really, really like. And when I got back from New York last week, I guess, I went to go do my makeup a couple days after I got back and I couldn't find the concealer. And I was freaking out thinking I left it there because it was like a $70 concealer. And well, I found it. It was just in another bag.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Oof.
But that's my Pope's ring.
I'm trying to think of something.
I've lost an iPad before though.
Ooh.
Yeah, at the gym years ago. It was after chemo, and I was definitely fog brained or whatever. But I lost an iPad. That was upsetting.
Oh gosh, I once, when I was a teenager, in my thieving days, I had, maybe this was my karma, an entire giant book of CDs, like all of my CDs, and I brought them with me because my friend and I went to the movies. And so I brought them, but I didn't want to leave them in her car because I was afraid they would get stolen. And so I brought them into the theater with me, and I left them there.
Oh, that sucks.
And we're talking like 30 CDs.
Yeah.
You know, at the time, and you're a teenager, you don't have any money.
It's
so
like
it takes you forever to save up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was devastated.
Yeah.
And I went home and I was like crying. And my friend was like, why don't you make a list of all the CDs that you had in there and we'll slowly start replacing them one by one. And I was like, okay. And then I think my friend's dad drove back to the mall, to the cinema, and they had found it.
Oh, wow.
And so he brought it back, and I was like, are all my Blink-182 CDs in there? And he was like, yes. And I was like, even Buddha, because that's the first one.
And then the next day, Napster was invented, and you didn't need CDs ever
I know.
again.
And then LimeWire came along.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember being so devastated that I had lost all my CDs.
That would have been upsetting for me. I didn't have CDs, but I had a DVD booklet.
Mm-hmm.
Not back then, but like, when DVDs came out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. But it turns out Sophia didn't actually lose the ring. She was just hiding it. And there's a great moment where Dorothy's like trying to like suss it out of her. She's like, come on. And Dorothy's like, do you want me to turn you upside down and shake you? It's really sweet. But Sophia's like, no, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, I love when they get to the hospital. I love when they get to the hospital.
It's so great when they get to the hospital. Before they get to the hospital, because I do want to get to the hospital. Blanche has a great line where they've convinced Rose to go to the hospital to see Miles, and as Blanche is walking out, she says to Dorothy, And she still hasn't worn your sweatshirt.
I mean, she does. Blanche plays petty so good. She's so good at this game. She's so good at it.
Yeah, so good at it. So Rose goes to the hospital to see Miles, and this is the second joke they've done in this series where there's like a mistaken identity in a hospital bed because somebody's entire face is wrapped in gauze.
It's a funny joke. I like it.
It's funny. It's such like a sitcom thing.
Yeah.
I also always feel so bad for the extras in those scenes. I'm like, you're just
wrapped
up like a mummy for.
Did he have a line though?
No.
Oh, that's sad then.
No.
So he didn't get paid that much.
They're really making peanuts because you think about it. You know, we've been to sitcom tapings. Sometimes you're in a scene. You could be in a scene for half hour.
Yeah, or
20 minutes.
Hours.
You know, or hours maybe. Some shows. So I'm just like, oh, that poor extra just.
Yeah.
Wrapped, just sitting there.
Wrapped silently.
Yeah.
Yep. It is what it is. I do love this. I love the structure of this scene because so many stories get wrapped up in this scene. And, you know, if you think about it, there are so many plots in this episode because there's kind of there's like a C story with Blanche and Dorothy, but then there's also the story with Miles and Rose. And then on top of that, there's the whole Sophia story. Like, there's so many different things happening in this episode. It's wild. Like, usually it's just two stories, but now there's three.
I mean, you could argue that the Dorothy and Blanche, that falls into the Rose story, but
not really.
The Rose story kind of takes on a life of its own at that point.
Yeah, exactly. And it becomes this other thing, which we find out in this scene, that Miles is just this. I don't relate to Miles often, but you all know that if I ever get any money, you ain't going to recognize me because I'm going to have a full-on plastic moment happening. Like, I will literally be unrecognizable. That said, Miles' reason for doing it is because of working at the university and feeling like he's old. But then I'm like, but Miles, you have a hot thing, Rose Nyland, that you were about to boink in the backyard. Like, who cares how you look at school? The girlies aren't looking at you, buddy. Like, it's fine.
Yeah. I actually thought out of all of the bullshit surrounding Miles and Miles's baggage and his shit, whatever.
So much baggage.
I could like sympathize with him and kind of understand where he's coming from here.
I could too.
Where he's like, look, I work on a college campus. There's youth all around me. I'm feeling old. I do want to feel a little bit younger. I actually thought that was really organic to the character. And it wasn't just like, oh, I'm getting older and I want plastic surgery. It was like very specific about I'm surrounded by youth and it's
But you
depressing.
also know that if he got that eye lift, which I also want, then he would immediately leave Rose.
Well, I'm pretty sure he did. I'm assuming he got it, right?
I don't know.
I'm assuming he did because Rose is like, she's so great. She's like, if this is important to you, I'll support you.
Wouldn't it be funny if in the other episodes after this that Miles shows up, he's all taped and his eyes are like super high? Like, that would be so funny.
If this were Arrested Development, that's exactly what would happen. Everybody would be like, I don't know. How is Miles feeling? I cannot tell.
Is he sad? Don't know. His eyes won't move.
Is he sad?
So
is he skydiving currently?
Funny. But my favorite part of this scene is actually not Miles and Rose at all. It's Sophia in the bathroom. The fact that when the Pope comes through, when the Pope walks through the hallway and Rose goes, Sophia, I forget how her setup, but she says like, it's a miracle or something. And then Sophia goes, what does she say? She goes like, it's a miracle, because she thinks whatever. She realizes it's the Pope. And then Rose thinks that Sophia is just having a bowel movement and says, oh, I'll let you get back to it.
Yeah.
I laughed so hard.
Yeah.
That might be the funniest part of this whole episode to me.
It was a really funny moment. It's so funny. Like, Pope's here, but she's pooping. But I guess, when you gotta go, you gotta go.
Also, the guy who played the cardinal in that scene, like the Pope's man or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know that actor's name. I should look it up. But he played Ellen's father on Ellen, and he is such a good character actor. He is such a
He
good
was
actor.
so funny when he came to get the ring, and Sophia's like, hey, you're not the Pope, because she was like convinced the Pope was gonna like drop by and knock on the door the way that like the president did. And she's like, you're not the Pope, and he's like, not yet, but you never know which way the wind will blow. And I was like, are you gonna kill the Pope?
His name is Steve Gilborn. Stephen Gilborn is the actor's name.
He
and
was great.
So good. Such a good. You guys would recognize him. He's definitely been in a lot of things.
I also had, okay, to quote Rose, can I ask a dumb question?
Sure. That explains the
Better
beat the
than
sweat.
anyone I know. Yeah, that explains the sweat. Would you have a simple cosmetic procedure in the same hospital where like someone like Agnes is presumably either like recovering from a larger surgery or is in like hospice or something? Like would Miles and Agnes be in the same hospital?
I think so. It seems like
Do you do like cosmetic surgery and like
Yeah.
traditional like Cedars-Sinai hospital?
Yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I mean, it depends on what the surgery is. A lot of cosmetic surgeries are done in like outpatient centers these days. But yeah, you would. I mean, if it was something that is a larger, more invasive surgery, like a facelift.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I was just like, oh, that's interesting. It was
My
nice
friend-
dovetailing of the stories, though.
My friend got a facelift, and it's in a real hospital.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's the commotion in the hallway. Like you said, Rose is goes to see Sophia in the bathroom, and then Rose pokes her head out right as the Pope passes by, because I guess he's going to bless everyone in the hospital. And later Sophia comes home and she says that he actually blessed Agnes. You know, miracles do happen. And what does Dorothy say? Nothing. Nothing.
She was very preoccupied this episode, Dorothy Spornak. Very.
Do you think that she was listening to what Sophia was saying, but she wasn't actually listening? She was thinking about the fact that Rose hadn't put on the sweater yet.
She's just bitter about the sweater. She is just, that's literally for the amount of times that Rose is the most competitive one. I think in this episode it proves that Dorothy and Blanche are just as competitive.
Yeah, I was actually, it had been a minute since I seen this episode. And when Sophia comes back and she was like, he blessed Agnes. And then she just like leaves the room. And I'm like, Dorothy, she didn't say anything. She didn't say anything.
Dorothy's busy.
Dorothy is like TikTok, the robot from Return to Oz.
Yes.
The little mechanical man. And like somebody needs to wind her up because she is just stoically sitting there.
Yes.
Not moving and not working. Her gears ain't turning.
I think this week B. Arthur was like, I don't want to do much. Do I have to put my shoes on?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I was just watching the like Midwinter Night's Dream episode, the two-parter. And because, you know, what do we do when we're sad? We put on the Golden Girls.
Yep.
And I feel like, I could be wrong, but listeners, tell me if you agree. Do you remember the joke where Dorothy and Sophia are talking in the kitchen and Dorothy's sitting at the kitchen table and they're talking about how Sophia put Dorothy in some kind of study with like mice or rats or something. And then like Blanche or Rose comes into the kitchen and goes like, do we have any cheese left? And then
Yeah.
Dorothy's like looking at the camera and she's like, turn left, turn right, must find the cheese. And I was like watching it and I was like, this B. Arthur hated this. I can guarantee you B. Arthur hated doing this. And she was like, just get me out of here. The show is almost over. I just felt like poor B. Arthur at that point.
There
Anyway.
are moments like there, especially this season. You definitely see it.
I'm just like, she don't make B. Arthur do this, you guys.
Like it reminds me of the SNL Kristen Wiig sketch. Don't make me sing. Don't make me sing.
But she wants to sing, right?
Yeah, she wants to sing.
Yeah. I feel like B. Arthur is just like, don't make me
Don't make
don't
me put
make
on
me
shoes.
the butt of a joke about being a science experiment.
Yeah, that part.
Yeah. Then this episode has a tag which I don't think this show has ever done like a winky tag where it's like this isn't actually real per se. It's kind of make pretend and kind of winky, where Sophia's playing poker in the kitchen with the Pope.
Yeah, I loved this tag so much.
I thought it was so cute.
It was so funny. But it's not even poker. She's playing strip poker with the Pope.
Oh, that's why he takes his...
That's why he takes his hat off. He's playing strip poker.
Wow.
Which I can't. I mean, it's actually perfect. It's actually perfect. It's a perfect tag to this episode.
Do you know the phrase Pope in the pool?
No, what is that?
So it's I forget who actually did it, like what movie it was. I'll have to find it, but it's when you have to deliver exposition, like boring pipe that you have to, deliver in a movie. And somebody did it once in a movie where it's like two characters talking and it's like boring stuff. But in the background, they had the Pope swimming in a pool. And I think he might have been like in like a tube or something.
I don't know that.
Didn't have a shirt on and he had like his hat on. And it was like, it's basically where you show the audience something very visually engaging and weird in the background while you're having characters like exposition dump.
And that's the episode.
And that's it. Oh, wait. Who actually did the Pope in the pool? I don't know. It might just be a theory. I don't know if anybody actually did it. But anyway, it's called the Pope in the pool.
Pope in the pool.
And yep, Pope in the pool at PayPal Mass. Pope in the pool at PayPal Mass.
And you know what? Since we're recording this on May 5th, 2025, right before the conclave for the selection of the new Pope begins, I guarantee you at least one cardinal is in there singing Pope at the Mass, Pope at the Mass, Pope in the pool, Pope in the pool, Pope. What were you singing? I don't know what you were singing. But
Pope in
yes.
the pool at the PayPal Mass, Pope in the
Pope
pool
in the
at the
pool at the
PayPal
PayPal
Mass.
Mass, Pope in the pool at the PayPal Mass. PayPal me.
PayPal me and come to my Mass.
Look at all those notifications.
Oh, wow. You have so many notifications.
Notifications.
Put your phone away.
Okay. Let's
Dear
get
Lord.
going.
All right.
Let's take a break and we'll come back with our papal takeaways.
Ooh.
Thank you. I thought about that for a second. And we are back with our golden takeaways, which is a nugget, just a tiny little nugget of truth or inspiration that you can apply to your life or the lives of our listeners. Kerri, Doherty, Bush, Shirley MacLaine. What is your golden takeaway from this episode?
So Rose's Mickey Mouse Club shirt, I really do hope that she wears it. But it also, I've really been appreciating vintage shirts lately.
Oh.
Because Stan's best friend was cleaning out his closet and had a bunch of vintage shirts and just gave them to us.
Nice.
And gave them to Stan, and then I've been stealing them. So I've been wearing, like right now I have on a Willie Nelson 1980 like tour shirt. I've got like Beach Boys, Sublime, Led Zeppelin. It's really cool. So I'm enjoying vintage t-shirts right now. And I think if you can find that line of like finding something that's cool and vintage, but not to the point where you like spend so much money on it that like you wouldn't want to wear it, you'd have to frame it or something, or if it doesn't fit you and you can't appreciate it in that way. I'm appreciating these t-shirts. They're all very, very soft. And I can't believe they've stood the test of time. I'm appreciating vintage clothing. And so for anybody else right now that has vintage clothes that they're able to access and wear, it's just this pretty cool thing.
Yeah, I love that.
What's your golden takeaway?
My golden takeaway from this episode, just to wrap everything up, is I just want to say from me and everyone here, we love you, Kerri. And we know that this moment is hard, but we always have the Golden Girls and each other to lean on. And even though we might not always be on schedule or on time because of life and everything, it's still, that we always have a home with each other right here on Out on the Lanai the only Golden Girls podcast you need to be listening to. Isn't that right, everyone? And everyone's just shaking their head if they made it this far in the episode. Yes.
Wait a minute. Have you been have you and Miles been baking together? Yeah, I was just watching that episode. Yes, I love and appreciate the Golden Girls community so much. So, yes, doing this podcast is a real nice distraction from everything. And yeah, I love it. I love the Golden Girls. I love all of you, and I appreciate all of you.
Yeah, okay. Well, let's close this thing out then.
Yeah, we'll be back here next week for more Golden Girls greatness. And remember, you can still check out the Patreon, join it, patreon.com/Golden Girls podcast. So much fun stuff going on over there. And we will continue to have fun stuff over there.
It's true. And you can follow us. Well, we're on Mom, Moguls of Media, so you can go support the Mommy Pluses and all the places. And you can also follow us at Golden Girls Pod on the Twitters, out on the Lanai Official on the Instagrabbles, Golden Girls Pod on Facebook. And I'm HAlanScott and Sadie Pines on most things.
And I am Squidzy on Instagram and Squid Eat Squid on Twitter. Not very active, though, guys. I need Activia yogurt to be more active on my socials.
Every morning.
You
every
do?
Morning. Every morning.
Did Jamie Lee Curtis convince you that Activia was the way to go?
Maybe. Probably. Yeah.
This is why people really should listen to the end of the episode, because I know some have dropped off and you're missing
good things.
You're missing
Healthy
good
guts.
things.
Healthy guts. Healthy guts. And remember,
as always,
stay gut friendly.
Golden.
Golden. Okay.
Out on the Lanai is not endorsed by Whit Thomas Harris Productions, Touchstone Television, Disney, or any of its subsidiaries. It is intended for entertainment and informational purposes only.
All names, pictures, audio, and video clips of the Golden Girls are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of their respective trademark and/or copyright holders.